As a lawyer, what are some of the examples of digital violence cases that I've handled in my career of practice as a lawyer? Now, I'll not tell you exactly one where I handled, but I'll give you an example of a friend of mine who actually experienced digital violence. So this guy was actually starting up a podcast, yeah, and he was very sure this podcast would get very high listenership. But then, and it was a visual podcast actually, where they had to set up the cameras, they had to get the speakers, and these are really very expensive gadgets, yeah? And this guy was sure that his podcast would be the next top big thing here in Uganda. But there was always that one guy who kept on calling him a fraud in the comment section. You guy, you're a fraud. I know you were in the same primary school, we're in the same secondary school, you defrauded people repeatedly. He kept on sending this, until one time when this comment started garnering attention. Yeah? And, if we are to go legally and try and define what digital violence really means, okay? And going by the definition under the Computer Misuse Act of 2011, this is something, a comment or any communication that is done repeatedly to disturb the peace or quiet of another person, targeted towards another person illegitimately, okay? Here, this guy actually didn't have any proof. He didn't have any serious claim or backed up evidence to support his claim, but he kept on calling this guy a fraud. And eventually, people started believing it, which affected the viewership and the listenership of this guy's podcast. And eventually, he had to abandon it because this other guy was really on his case. Now, that is one pure example of digital violence that I have seen, and my friend has really experienced it. And to take it a little further, it's actually a crime in Uganda if you didn't know. And what is the punishment for this crime? Please know that you can easily go into prison if you are convicted for up to 1 year. Or you will be ordered to pay a fine of 24 currency points. What are currency points? Just multiply each currency point by 20,000. So please note that digital violence is actually a crime in Uganda, and you could be sentenced to jail for up to 1 year, or you'll be ordered to pay about 480,000 in fine, or still you'll be instructed or ordered by a court to pay, and also you'll still be